Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Last night in Toronto, women and men took to the streets following the recent sexual assaults in the West End of our city, demanding safer homes, streets, and better supports for victims of sexual violence. Ending sexual violence requires dedicated and coordinated work from both the community and all levels of government. But funding from the McGuinty government for organizations like Victim Services Toronto has been frozen since 2007. Why is the government balancing its books on the backs of victims of violence?
Premier.
Speaker, to the Minister responsible for women's issues.
Minister.
Thank you very much, and I'm like to take a moment in this legislature to acknowledge once again that sexual violence is prevalent in the lives of far too many women. And it is brought to stark light when we see circumstances in our city that 1 in 3 women will experience some form of sexual violence in her lifetime, and that, Mr. Speaker, is totally unacceptable. Sexual violence has a devastating impact on the lives of victims and their families, and it will not be tolerated. And that's why our government has taken strong action in the past, working very aggressively on a complete sexual violence action plan that we released last year that included $15 million in investments over 4 years in public education, training and community services. And we look to continue to support women who are survivors and to prevent this from happening in our city and across the province.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Back to the Premier, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, Torontonians have been shocked by the recent rash of sexual assaults in our community. Organizations like Victim Services Toronto, the largest and only of its kind, is one of the very few places that victims of sexual assault can turn for support, financial help, and protection from repeated assault. But funding for this program has fallen in real terms by more than 25% over the past 20 years, in spite of greatly increased demand. If the government recognizes the importance of programs like this and their role in ending sexual violence, when will your cuts end?